public comment can go on, and we limit the total public comments to 45 minutes. They've agreed to extend that, so everybody will actually get 3 minutes to talk. I'll call you in order that you signed up. So the first person who signed up is Karen Williams.
Hello.
Maybe somebody knocked in. Hello? I think somebody knocked it. It has to be because it's working.
Shotgun wielding criminal faster than any police department could respond or a phone could even be dialed. I would like to add that at the church, at any given moment, there are children present, both small and large, just as there are in story time. This Texas incident of a good guy with a firearm stopping a bad guy is not unique. What is being proposed would make all those present in the storytime room and ultimately in the library vulnerable to a similar attack with absolutely no recourse except to be slaughtered, and all because of unfounded fears which have no basis in reality or common sense. These unfounded fears have also not manifested a single incident or issue in the months since my daughter has been attending storytime or before. Even worse is the fact that your own posted rules state that the library is not responsible for the safety of the children who use your facilities. Yet you are disarming all law-abiding citizens and preventing parents from protecting the children that you are not responsible for. I urge you then, even though you've pulled it from your agenda, to vote down this proposed rules change as an infringement on our God-ordained right to defend life and a nonsensical attempt to solve something that doesn't exist. Thank you.
I truly am sorry. Kathy Smith is the next person on the list.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Kathy Smith. I'm also a citizen of Pahrump, and I'm fairly new here. I don't know very many people yet. And all I can say is, if I don't know you, I don't know what your intention is with a gun, and neither do the police. When I see people carrying guns all over town, in stores, in the library, any place I go, I worry because there are people out there who will attack for no reason, who will shoot down people that they don't know for no reason. And I can't tell the difference between you, your daughter, your husband, your wife. I don't know what your intentions are with that gun you have on your hip. And that's frightening to me. Although the subject of guns being permitted in the library is not on the agenda, I just want to make sure that the library board is aware that not every library patron supports open carry in a place of quiet reflection, learning, and study. Just because you carry a gun doesn't mean you should. Not every environment is appropriate for carrying weapons. And that's all I'd like to say right now. Thank you.
Nigel Ennis. Ennis. I-N-N-I-S.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to speak, or recognizing the opportunity for citizens to speak on this issue. Young Mr. Zimmerman, you've got yourself a great future. You're an outstanding speaker. I hear the voice of the last speaker, and it weighs with me. But your feelings and your concern about not knowing if this individual is a good person with a gun or a bad person with a gun. Unfortunately, your feelings and your concerns should not outweigh the overwhelming majority of citizens of Pahrump and of this wonderful county in this great country. I thank God, and I'm not picking on you, because I think you are very sincere with how you feel. But I thank God that the feelings of some who might not feel that it's appropriate to have guns open carried in a church, that in Texas when Mr. Wilson had a gun and prevented the deaths of over 200 people coming to pray to God, I thank God that your particular feeling was not there, did not exist there. I come from Las Vegas, Nevada, and I came out here, even though I come out here so often, I consider Pahrump my second home. But I came all the way out here because I come from a civil rights organization called the Congress of Racial Equality, one of our nation's oldest civil rights organizations. And people like my father, the great warrior and civil rights icon, marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who of course practiced nonviolence. And there were many marches like that. But what a lot of folk don't know is that they were a group of good men and women who were on the sidelines of those peaceful protesters that were armed. You've heard of deacons for defense, ministers that protected these civil rights workers as they were peacefully marching, and some very bad men, not just with guns, but with axes and with clubs and with just themselves, would seek to abuse these peaceful protesters. They were protected by good men and women with guns. Those people praying to God in Texas were protected in their lives, were saved by good people with guns. One last point, I'm probably going over my time, forgive me. I was in North Las Vegas, true story, going to a 99-cent store, I'm cheap. And I'm in North Las Vegas, in the hood, if you will. And I see this striking 35-year-old African-American woman. The first thing I saw was how beautiful she was. That's why I was looking. Then the second thing I saw was a holster and a gun. Now she was very slim, okay? Maybe 100 pounds wet. And I came up to her and I said, "You got a gun that probably weighs more than you do." She was there with her daughter. She was there with her sister. I said, why do you have a gun? I mean, this gun probably weighs more than you. And she said, that is exactly why I have this gun. Because people, men, will come up to me or my daughter or my sister and harass me or try to get a date with me or whatever. And when I say, hey, I don't want to be bothered, sometimes they don't stop. I've got a home to protect. I have a daughter to protect. I volunteer to come back here again. I'm also a hopefully future board member of the National Rifle Association, which is the oldest civil rights organization in our country. And they have an Eddie Eagle program. And that Eddie Eagle program teaches young people to have awe and respect for a firearm. And a critical component of this Eddie Eagle program is that they are not to operate or even get close to a gun until they are responsible enough to do so. So I guess I gotta go for the record that I oppose this ban. It is a dangerous, dangerous ban. I don't believe you're evil people. I don't believe you have evil intent. But this ban would have an evil manifestation. And that's why I came here, and that's why I will be here again. And I thank you for your time today. God bless.
Okay, Joe Brodowski. Sorry.
Brzezinski.
Interesting.
No problem. Well, good morning. My name is Joe Brzezinski. I'm the chairman of the Nye County Republican Party. And I'm here this morning representing the party. And the party is totally against this proposed ban. We support the Second Amendment. We have 4 of the 5 county commissioners here today that are also opposing this ban. We're in a library, and in a library, you have books. And those books a lot of times give us some history. And if we look at our founding fathers, they put in the Second Amendment for a reason. That is so that we can protect each other. I don't want a child killed here. By banning guns, that could happen. We look back in Germany, 1937, Nuremberg Accords. They decided to ban guns from a certain population. That population were called gypsies. Then after the gypsies, there were the communists, couldn't have guns. After that, the Jews couldn't have guns. After that, over 6 million Jews were killed because they didn't have the right to have their guns. Yes, we live in this country, and we have our freedoms, and we need to protect those. And one of the best ways to protect our freedoms is by upholding the Second Amendment. We will be back, and we'll be back, and we'll be back to oppose this ban. Thank you very much.
Rich Bushel.
Good morning, everyone. I come to speak in opposition to this proposed ban. I suspect that this board is wondering, why are so many people upset by such an inconsequential matter? Let me ask you, how long after the storeroom ban will it be before there is a no gun sign on the library front door? Confining the ban to the storeroom will quickly prove to be problematic. Are you going to set up metal detectors, or simply post a no gun sign at the front door, or maybe out at the parking lot entrance? I've heard several speakers state that guns should not be allowed in the storeroom, but present no argument as to why. No facts or data that show the danger. They have just their feelings to fall back upon. The big problem for me is the concerted effort by political forces in Washington and now Carson City to erode our Second Amendment into a meaningless anachronism, that it is no longer pertinent in today's society. Incrementally, they've achieved this in much of our country. Nye County has become, in a way, a last stand. For the past 2 generations, the general public have been victimized by a propaganda campaign from the major media, in Hollywood, in academia, and even the public schools. The message is always the same. Guns in the hands of ordinary people only lead to crime and destruction. I tell you here, the truth is just the opposite. I understand the board is concerned about civil liability, as if allowing guns allows a shooting. You need to think about this. How would not posting a no gun sign presume your approval of criminal behavior? It makes no sense. And how would your puny sign stop anyone who is determined? The sign would only be respected by peaceable citizens. And are not they the ones you would want to be armed? Recently, our Nye County Commission declared Nye County to be a Second Amendment sanctuary. Our Sheriff Worley told the governor she will not enforce his unconstitutional laws. Our district attorney ran on a pro-Second Amendment platform. My position is hardly an outlier. In closing, I'll leave you with a quote from George Washington. Firearms stand next in importance to the Constitution itself. They are American people's liberty teeth and keystone under independence. The very atmosphere of firearms everywhere restrains evil interference. They deserve a place of honor with all that is good. Thank you.
Library Board. I'm here to speak today on the agenda item that you have said that you have pulled, and that is your consideration of a gun ban in the children's reading room. I don't know, I haven't been told the reason why you pulled the agenda item. However, I will say that if it's your thinking that by pulling the agenda item when there's a ton of people here until you get no crowd so that you can pass this ban in darkness and under the table without people witnessing what you're doing and having a comment on it, you can forget it, because I plan on making this library board meeting my permanent agenda and letting you know how I feel about you taking away our constitutional rights that we have here in Nevada to open carry. And the access to this library is supposed to be free access to all, and that's, if you take away our right to carry our weapons, which we are allowed by law to do, then you are limiting that access unconstitutionally. And I just want you to know that I am not going to stand for it, that I'm going to come here and I'm going to express my opinion. And I don't care if one person or two people have said that they're not comfortable with people carrying guns in here. It is our constitutional right. And I will not have that constitutional right taken away from me and the citizens of this county. And I just want you to know that we are going to be here. So you can put it on the agenda, take it off the agenda, put it on, take it off, put it on, take it off. But if you're going to do it, we're going to come here and we're going to let you know that we're not going to stand for it. And that there will be consequences if you take any action like that. And so that is my thoughts to you today. Thank you.
Next on the list is increased Zimmerman.
I'd like to do a point of order. As of this morning, when I read the agenda online, it said public comment is 5 minutes. When did that change? When did that change? Because it should take a motion for it to change.
Our policy has been 3 minutes.
No, it says 5 minutes on the website.
I'm sorry that it's incorrect on the website, but our policy has been 3 minutes. It has been 3 minutes since I believe the start of the library board meeting.
Well, I'm sorry, but it's posted, so what you're doing is illegal. It has not been changed on your agenda that you're putting out to the public. The one that has gone to the courthouse and etc., and that we're all relying on. So at this point, it said 5 minutes. Don't do something illegal. I think you need to.
The total time that is allowed in our rules is 45 minutes for public speaking, period.
And 5 minutes for each speaker. So I suggest that you follow your own